It's time, it's time, it's time. Today is September the 28th, 2025, and it is 7:55 a.m. The 48 Laws of Power. Law 40. Despise free lunch. Despise free lunch. Despise free lunch. As you can see in the thumbnail, we have a young Vito Corleone earning an honest living at a grocery store. He has his basket on his shoulder full of groceries, and he's putting in that work as an honest young man to provide for himself and to provide for his family. In life, you have to have a certain sense of respect for yourself, honor for yourself, and ultimately value your own independence as a man or as a woman. And a couple of scenes after this particular image that's in the thumbnail, Vito Corleone loses his job, not for incompetence, but because of politics. Watch Godfather 2, you'll see why he lost his job. And it's a particular scene that is very relative to the 40th Law of Power. And it's the scene where Vito Corleone's father figure and owner of the store, his employer, offers him some groceries to take home for himself and his family, and he denies them. And right there, that scene right there is the best example and analogy for this particular law. Vito Corleone valued his independence, and Vito Corleone didn't want to be indebted to his employer and his father figure who took him in, that didn't have to take him in, that gave him employment when he didn't have to give him employment. And the most important thing, he didn't want to become a burden to his father figure and his employer. And in life, you have to earn your way. You have to earn your way. That's the only way you could truly respect yourself. And that's the only truly way that other people is going to respect you. Okay? And also, when you take stuff for free, you put yourself in a position to be deceived. You put yourself in a position to be manipulated. You put yourself in the position to be disrespected. And you put yourself in a position to be owned. You put yourself in a position for a person to be able to have ammunition and weaponry to throw things in your face. Okay. And I had a recent situation at my job. I'm not going to get into the details where there was I would say a micro incident. It wasn't a big incident. It wasn't a small incident. It was a micro incident where one of my indirect coworkers, she brought, some donuts that were for everybody. And I got into like a brief micro altercation, lighthearted altercation. I'm gonna just say it was an altercation with somebody that would have been just avoided if I would have never, took the offer of getting one of the donuts. If I want donuts, buy my own donuts. That's how I keep my independence. Okay. That's how I'm able to keep my power, keep my sovereignty as a man, because the three things that I value in my life, which I call the Sovereignty Three, which is one of my affirmations, I value my time, I value my peace, and I value my independence. And despising free lunch is all about keeping your independence. Now, there are times in my life where I might pay people back, and I always give extra financially. When I borrow money from people, I always put a cherry on top. I'll always give you more for allowing me to borrow money from you and pay it back. Okay. But overall, I pay my way. And this video is more so for me to pay my way, no matter what. If there's events, now if I go to an event and there's already stuff for free and it's for everybody, if it's already set up that way, then that's fine. But in general, you know, when people, you have to be very keen. It's just best, to not do it. It's just best not to do it. It's just best to pay your way. You know, the only exception is technically, if you go to an event, you already paid your money. So that's neither here or there. If you paid for admission, you're entitled to the food and the accessories and the things that are offered there because you paid your way. But overall, don't take nothing free from nobody. Okay? Just value your independence. Never get in a position where you're indebted to a person, where a person can weaponize you being in debt to them. And you just want to always be in a position of strength. You always want to be in a position of power. You always want to be in a position of sovereignty. Okay? As a man or as a woman. Be like Vito Corleone. Don't take the groceries. The only thing Vito had to bring home to eat to him and his wife was a pear that they split. And see, that was more motivation for him to earn his way. And he was able to build the olive oil business. Would he would have been able to build that olive oil business if he would have took those groceries that day? So I encourage you today to follow the 48 laws of power. This specific one that I apply in my life, that I need to apply a lot more, and this is one that I agree with. I don't agree with all the 48 laws of power. This is the start of a new 48 laws of power series that I'm going to be doing. Now, I don't know when I'm going to do videos like this. They're going to be spontaneous, so stay tuned. But this is the first one that I'm going to be doing because it hits home for me. Is one that I have to work on a lot. Despise free lunch, Law 40, 48 Laws of Power, written by Robert Greene. Despise free lunch, Despise free lunch. And always remember, life is a game of chess and every move counts. Know the board, know the pieces, win the game.